Before I start this video, got an announcement, got some sad news over the weekend. One of our very own Giants content creators passed away. That's going to be Jeffrey Turner. Jeffy, as I called him. YouTube is NYG Jeffy T85. So just real briefly about Jeffy. I only been a YouTuber for about a year. And when I first started, there was always a few people that always showed support, always showed love. Well, not even a few, a lot of people that show love and support. And Jeffy was one of those dudes, man. And just a genuine person. Always had the same energy no matter what was going on. One of the hardest working guys on YouTube, especially in the Giants community. He covered all sports. He even covered wrestling and all that. And you know what? That man will be missed. My condolences to the family. And yeah, man, shout out to Jeffy, man. We miss you, man.
Go sign up to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash Knows, one of the up-and-coming, big-time New York Giants content creators. This guy is changing the game in the YouTube community. This guy is one of the best when it comes to breaking down film, talking Giants. Got great, funny little clips that he throws into his videos and stuff. Big Dash, he's coming. You guys, if you haven't already, go sub up to this kid.
Big Dash Knows what?
Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. Today's video is a quick recap of OTA 4. Again, the media was not allowed in the building. They weren't covering the practice, so we didn't get a lot of updates throughout the day. I did go to Giants.com, and again, all this information, it will be from Giants.com. Dan Salamone had an article. They really didn't even have any pictures up really for today's practice, but they did have some highlights from the from the practice, and we can get right into that. So the first thing I'm going to say is that we had another clean practice. This will be the third practice in a row with no interceptions thrown, for the practice. So that's a good thing. And the other thing you want to say as well, is that a bad thing? That means the defense is not doing what they're supposed to do. But in some cases, the defense is just fine. So Deonte Banks was in attendance today. He did practice. He also broke up some passes. So shout out to him, slowly working his way into this NFL game. And you love to hear things like that. Now, when I talk about the quarterbacks, they did mention a couple of touchdowns, a couple of different plays. So Hodgins had a good day. Hyatt had 2 touchdowns today. Jones even hit Khalil Pimpleton for a touchdown today. So they were spreading the love around. When they talked about some of the top plays, they were talking about, some early catches by Paris Campbell. Those again coming from Daniel Jones. They had Deonte Banks break up like I just mentioned. And also they talked about Jadon Mickens, which is another wide receiver, a little bit lower on the depth chart, able to show his speed and get open down the field for a big gain. So again, not a lot of updates today, from Giants.com. But where we didn't get the information that we normally get, I want to talk about some things also going on possibly. And a lot of question marks will be guys coming back from injuries. And we saw that Darian Beavers was at practice, was at the OTAs, but he's in a limited role. He's still coming back off of that knee injury. And we're waiting to see, how far along he is in the process. And hopefully by the time minicamp and training camp gets here, he's going to be a full go, especially getting into some of those preseason games. He hurt himself early in the preseason last year. You just hope that he's able to get that recovery time and able to get back up to speed, not only physically, but also mentally. Outside of that, also Joshua Ezeudu, no information. Everything is quiet when it comes to Joshua Ezeudu. We know he had the neck injury. Again, he's another guy that I reached out to, via social media, asking, for any kind of information, any kind of updates that, he was willing to provide. Didn't get any kind of answers back, but still, I'm hoping that, the neck injury, resolves itself, that he's a full go as well, because I think that with him being that 3rd round pick, you absolutely want this guy to make the step or take the leap where he's going to be the guy that wins that spot at left guard. I believe the competition is going to be between him and Ben Bredeson right off the bat. I said that in the video, my past video, talking about the top 4 position battles going into camp, and again, that's one of them. On the other side, again, Marcus McKeithen, another guy that I tried to reach out to via social media, trying to get an update on his recovery. Of course, he had the knee injury last year, sidelined for the whole season, happened early in the preseason too. They just hope that these guys are able to get back and hit their strides going into their second season, which is really going to be like another rookie season for a lot of you guys, because they got injured so early, in the training camp, that they didn't even make it, to the regular season. But again, that's just going to be a quick update for OTA 4. Again, not a lot of information was provided. I'll continually check the website to see if they pull up any more information, and as I'm hearing that information, I will absolutely share that information with everybody on this channel. And with that being said, what are you guys looking forward to seeing in the next few OTAs and ultimately getting into minicamp? Is it finally having Saquon Barkley under contract, to signing that tender? Is it going to be how many wide receivers we're going to keep when we get to the 53 roster? What's your order on the depth chart? How do you think these guys are going to play as far as in this new system, under Kafka and working with Daniel Jones? It's a lot of questions out there. Again, I think this off season and going into training camp and preseason is probably going to be one of the most intriguing, because when you're coming off a year where you had some success, you make a lot of changes during the off season. Some people might argue against a lot of changes, but to me, you added a lot of pieces to this team, especially in important areas: the defensive line, the offensive line, with the draft of John Michael Schmitz, and then you look at the wide receiver room, and then you look at the addition of Darren Waller. And there's still some holes back there too, because we don't know who the second safety is going to be. Again, I believe this training camp is going to be very, very exciting for those that are able to lock down tickets and attend some of those training camp practices. Man, shout out to you guys. I know we're going to have a joint practice with the Detroit Lions, because we do play them in the first week of the preseason, so we're going to have some joint practices with them. It's just going to be some exciting times, because the Detroit Lions are similar to the New York Giants, where they're building, they're having some success, they're getting better. They just missed the playoffs last year, while we were able to get into the playoffs last year. And I think that practicing with a team that's hungry, and you see the way that their coach Campbell coaches, hard practices, physical practices, and hopefully we can match that intensity, because I don't know if we practice to that extent when it comes to our team, but we know that the Detroit Lions are a team that's tough, smart, and have an aggressive coach leading those guys too. So that's going to be my video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.